Hello, it's been Happy Background Action. This time we've got some more Kylie Minogue. You know, we've been going on this journey with Carson on Patreon. He has been taking me on a whirlwind, a hurricane. We've been going left, right, up and down, all around. I'm spinning around. Move out of my way. We are now going in with her third album, Rhythm of Love. This is like the first album cover that looks a bit sensual, a bit more pop diva. The first two album covers by her are cringe city. If you know them, you know them. The hats are just lol. This came out in 1990, so we're in the 90s, we're skipping the 80s, which I'm not mad at. I'm keen to get into funky little 90s moody woody. Pretty sure I know the first song better than Devil to Know. That's that. I'm pretty sure I've seen it in the performance that I've watched. I've reacted to 3 of her concerts now. They are all on Patreon, uncut. Link is down below, all that jazz. Other than that, I don't know any of the songs, like recognizing them by title. I might know them by sound if I've heard them or if I've watched them in a performance or if they grab me at some point in my life. If you love Kylie, my other videos are on the channel, all that jazz. You know what to do. There's nothing else to say. Let's get on to these. Ooh. Ooh, la. Alright, the closing track is Rhythm of the Love. Interesting that the last song is the title track. The opening track though is Better the Devil You Know. If this is the song I think, I'm gonna vibe it, I'm gonna drive it. Let's open up the album. Let's go. Very 90s. Yeah, hey. Pretty big opening. I love that. Does sound a bit different. Voice. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, her voice is so strong. A little bit repetitive. Love the chorus though. Classic fade out. Yeah, I'm actually very impressed. I mean, nearly a 4-minute song, which is sick. I mean, you know, in terms of pop song driven music, I actually think that's some of the best vocals I've heard by her. It just sounds so strong. It definitely encapsulates like that 80s feel with, you know, with the production and the voice. They definitely kind of felt like two entities together, if that makes any sense. I can't really explain it. It's like her voice was there, but the production was maybe just a little bit louder, but I guess it kind of outbalanced when, you know, she really put in the power of the song or the vocals. Very cool song, a little bit repetitive lyrically, but I definitely think that is one of the best songs in terms of like just the delivery and how amps you up. And yeah, the vocalness, I'm actually quite shocked. I mean, I know she is a good vocalist. I guess I just didn't know how good until you kind of hear this type of music, because I guess there's a lot more vocal focus, maybe? I don't know. That's just, yeah, I liked it. It's a good opening song. Next song is Step Back in Time. Let's go. Oh my god! I mean, yeah, it sounds dated, but that's fine because we know it's that vibe. It gives me Madonna vibes. I like this delivery. Hearing her with this type of music though. The breakdown. Okay. Super short song, and I guess very repetitive again. I know I'm a bloody sucker for saying that. It just is. Interesting, very dated, I suppose, in sound. We know that it sounds like Madonna for me, which makes sense, you know, with what's going on at the time. While it is released in the 90s, obviously it's recorded in the 80s, so it's still going to have that 80s feel, vibe-a-rooney. Yeah, definitely not as good as Better the Devil You Know. I'm wondering if that's going to be the best song, because I know it's probably was a single. I'm very keen, hoping like we kind of move away from this cliche 80s sound, because it's just not my fave. I think it's hard as well because obviously I've seen so much of her more recent, I guess from like the last 10 years or so, 10, 12 years. Now this stuff is obviously a step back in time, lol, didn't even mean to do that. Obviously everything's going to seem probably a bit more simpler and not as, I guess, pop-tastic bangaranga fangatanga like you know we're used to from Kylie. Next song is What Do I Have to Do, in brackets the 7-inch mix. Let's go. Oh, I think I know this as well. Hey, yes, we get the haven't heard this on a tour. Production's a bit simple, but voice for me. I really love you. I love the crowd cheers. I guess it is all that little disco vibe, like. I mean, I guess, yeah, like, now that I'm stopping, obviously it is quite repetitive in its lyrics, but I don't know, fun song. I love that song and Better the Devil I Know, obviously they've withstood the longevity of time. What is it now, like over 30 years later, and I still know them. I suppose like they would have been some of the biggest hits at the time. I think I heard them both though on a tour, you know, that I've seen. So yeah, let me know where I've heard those songs, because were they big? I don't know. Let me know down below. Next song is Secrets. Let's go. Whoa, way quieter. That's the only bad thing with like older music, like the quality sometimes. Maybe it's quiet because it's a secret. The instruments. Yeah, like it's so quiet. Little dogs. Definitely more of a story, but weaker overall. What's Secrets? My favourite. I like that high-pitched pillow though. Yeah, obviously fade outs I'm not going to comment on because that is just a product of its time. Nearly 4 minutes. I actually don't mind the song, to be fair. I think it's like an easy one. Like I said, there's more of a storyline within it. I just think the production probably was a bit weak. Like I said, love that. See, like I had this weird little thing on there, which was a bit more interesting, you know, kind of like I was like, oh, that's intriguing. What's that about? But yeah, other than that, probably the softest song. But I suppose that's not a bad thing either when you're getting into the album. You're like, all right, let's chill for a bit. So it's going to be interesting to see if the next few are a bit more slower, or if we're going to get back up in Funky Town on the 80s disco dance floor. Next song is Always Find the Time. Let's go. Yeah, I know. The sound is harder for me because it's very old sounding. And they're all quiet. Cute. That would be just fine. Yeah, lyrics are a bit off. Yeah, it kind of just feels like she's singing it, not really like feeling it. Yeah, I feel like now is just pretty much probably going to repeat what we just heard. And I get it, I know that's what they did back then. Don't come for me, but I've already heard it. See what I mean? Not my fave. Like, it's an okay song. Yeah, more, I don't know, like more a bit going on, but nothing, I guess, super major. And once we hit that 2-minute mark, it was just repetitive city. And I suppose anyone could sing that song, and I don't think it would change much in the sound, other than obviously the vocals. So I guess that's just a product of the time as well, I'm sure. Like, it doesn't sound quintessential Kylie to me in that sense. It's because we're going back in time. So it is what it is. Yeah, not my favorite. Not a bad song, nothing grabbing at all for me. Number 16, my favorite number is going to be song. It's called The World Still Turns. Let's find out. Let's go. Someone. Hey, cute. Good message. I was honest from the start. they got rid of that little beat, like that, I think it would be so much stronger. Like, get rid of that. Yeah, see? Way nicer. And see, like, you believe this more. Like, she feels like she's singing it, like, really feeling it. Oh, she's on that as a writer. I don't know how many of the songs she's written with them. Terribly, terribly produced, mastered, etc. I think that song could be redone so much stronger. I think the focus needs to be more on her voice being one of the instruments and then just being backed up with some more classical sound. Like that demo beat, like that you have on those pianos, like where you just press presets. Get rid of that. And that, I know that's like, you know, it was a thing back then. It's just so shit. Like it just sounds shit. It's not creative. It's just repetitive. It is one of the best songs because I definitely think you feel it and it's such a nice, positive, empowering message. I just think, God, the production was so lacking and didn't help it. Like the focus was her voice, but the production didn't really support that, unfortunately. Love Alone, number 6, bringing in the goods. The next song is Shocked. Let's go. See, already a stronger, bloody production. And like, I haven't changed the volume and this is already louder. Wow, like, build up. How much more have they put into this? Like going wild. I was trying to keep up like with the verses, but the Apple Music was just like scrolling through them, so I don't know what's going on there. Very interesting song. I don't know. I can't believe it was like nearly 5 minutes. It kind of felt like it was here and gone. And I got like very like, yeah, I think it's quite, I guess it was very repetitive, right? I don't know, very interesting song. I liked it. Definitely so much more production going on there. Like the build up was sick. I think they could have taken some of that production and chucked it in The World Still Turns. Very full on, and I guess not a huge payoff really. I'm like, okay. Interesting song. Yeah, that kind of threw me, that one. I don't know what to think. Next song is One Boy Girl. Let's go. Yeah, the production is so like a roller coaster. Because I'm so used to Polish music. I'm a one boy girl. I'm a one boy girl. She's thankful. So she's a little monogamy. Love it. This lyrics. It's so funny, some of these songs deserve so much better production. Like this production is shit, it deserves better. I love this. Yeah, like oh my God. She sounded, that's cooler. She sounded so white then, like very like that New York on the street, like Sister Act vibe. Yeah, I definitely think that could have been so much cooler. I know it's 30 years later, but production could have been better, and imagine like a real strong feature. It's interesting that they didn't credit that chick who was singing or rapping. I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't need a fade out. Yeah, I like the song. I definitely think it could be improved, and obviously I'm going in with different eyes and things like that. The song is what it is. I suppose, like I said, the production levels are just so sporadic and like up and down, not cohesive, and it feels like not every song was given the same kind of treatment. So I don't know if there was one producer or if, you know, there was a few different producers working on each song. That's very interesting how some sound really cool or like fuller, and then you get these that just literally sound so basic and demo driven. Alright, the next song is Things Can Only Get Better. Let's go. It's cool to see where she came from though, like how she built up to what she does now. And like she still has always had that cheeky little personality, which I like. her this kind of real cool moment. Yeah, this is a cool one. Like, I know it still had that same repetitive beat, but that guitar absolutely elevated that song. I know I keep saying, like, if you could just redo this now. I mean, obviously a lot of songs are like this kind of message now, so, you know, she was still doing it 30 years ago. But wow, I definitely think she would probably go in a lot harder with the verses and like do, like just real smash out some truths. I like that though. That's, yeah, definitely one of the better songs, one of the best on the album for me. Next song is Count the Days. Let's go. Oh, this one's with Stephen Bray. I'm pretty sure he is Madonna too, like collabs with her. Yeah, so you go from that song to this, you're just like, yeah, boring. Just, yeah, like, it just sucks because I wish there was a bit more like cohesivity with it all. I mean, it is all about love and stuff, which is the album name. Yeah, nothing special for me, like way too long as well. Interesting. And I say cohesivity, like obviously I understand the lyrical content is all quite love-based, so I love that sense that, you know, it's different takes of like self-love, loving yourself, self-love, loving yourself, self-love, loving other people, being true to yourself, like knowing that it gets better and all that stuff. I really do like that. It's just a production, and I know it is what it is. And I mean, the fact that, you know, it still was a successful album, clearly, because it, you know, kept projecting her into, you know, worldwide fame. It's just unfortunate to listen back now. I'm like, oh, like I wish there was more to it, which at the time obviously you probably wouldn't think that. Looking back now retrospectively is always what I'm doing with this stuff, so I'm not going to be able to ever listen to music the way it was intended, you know, 30 years ago. I'm only going to be able to listen to it with my own influences and things that I've heard throughout, and obviously having heard more of her recent stuff, I'm like, yeah, okay. So she definitely got there, and she definitely did, you know, some really amazing stuff, and you know, things can only get better. Like I said, like, I just think you just wish you could redo it now, I think. Which says stuff, because if you still want elements of the song, clearly it had some really great stuff back then, so you know what I mean. We're at the last song. It's the title track, Rhythm of Love. This should encompass everything the album has to offer for us. Let's wrap it up. Let's go. This should really be a bit of a banger, to be fair. It's alright. Yeah. Again, like the voice is just kind of put in the background. Yeah. Kind of like a boring wrap-up song. What? It's a French talking. That was the most interesting part of the song. Alrighty. Alright, Miss Kylie Minogue. I get the title of the album being Rhythm of Love because obviously it's a very lyrically based album. However, as a title track, pretty disappointing because it really is not the strongest song on the album. Alright, let me try and remember what songs I love. Better Than Devil You Know, obviously. What Do I Have to Do I liked. Oh god, The World Still Turns I really like. Shocked was cool production, very full. I don't know, just like kind of left me a bit like, what? One Boy Girl was cool. Like I said, I definitely think if you had like a bigger collab now, that would slay. Things Can Only Get Better. Like I said, love. Count the Days, love. Those two probably the best two, I think, in terms of like really pulling me in. I was like, yeah, this is sick. So definitely some really cool hidden gems on here, and like I said, it's awesome to see that, you know, she's still got that humor, it's still coming through, she still just makes you happy, and you can see how, you know, she's really projected her career. I mean, what is this, like over 30 years ago? She's still making music now and still, you know, a very relative pop chickadee. So while not the best, obviously again, I'm going to come in with a very different set of ears in terms of having heard a lot of this stuff in terms of lyrical content. So it's still going to take a lot to kind of really pull you in. However, I love that she still had those moments for me. And like I said, God, if you were to go back and, rejig these songs now, I think you could really create some bangerangers. Karsten, thank you as always for taking me on my Kylie journey. I mean, we have been going all over, so it is very cool to kind of see, like her journey in any order we're going. And like I said, to still be able to find some really cool pieces within older music, it's really fun for me. I mean, it's definitely a product of its time in terms of like the fade out, the repetitive lyrics, the lacking production for me, or that, real dancey vibe. Oh, I don't know what vibe you call it, that dance that's just annoyingly repetitive and long because they want you on the dance floor. That's just me. I'm not a super big fan of that, as we know, but still loved it, still can respect it, still, like I said, it's still awesome to see where she came from and what she does now. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. If you want to see my other Kylies, they are on Patreon, Uncut, or on my YouTube channel. The concerts are only on Patreon, so if you want to see them, they are there. Other than that, all my links are down below. Hope you're having a good ride. I'm good. I'm gonna go.